Hello again, football fans. We're in the final week of the regular season, week 12. A lot of stuff to decide here.
Yeah, it's here. We're done. Let's go.
Absolutely. That in mind, we've got some conferences that have been settled, some conferences that are going to be settled, some teams that are on the bubble. So let's jump into a little bit of that. Let's talk about that first. First, let's talk about a couple of the conferences that have been settled, starting over in the Mid-Eastern.
Okay, that's done. We all know that. That's New Bern. They're going to win the whole thing. They'll get the conference's top seed. After that, it's a mess. Laney, Rose, and New Hanover all have a shot at the second and third seeds at that point. Hoggard's still in the mix at this, as well. Really, the only team out of it right now is Laney. We don't know what's going to happen. The three games this week will decide who's going where this week.
Absolutely, absolutely. Also, Wallace Rose Hill has sealed up the Tri-County.
Yep.
South Columbus has at least getting themselves a share of the Waccamaw.
And the top seed in the conference.
And East Duplin has done the same thing over in the East Central.
That's correct. So basically, South Columbus and East Duplin win. They're undefeated. They win the conference, and it's all taken care of.
Now let's go over to some teams that are maybe on that little fringe, on that bubble. We have three area teams with just 3 wins, including a couple here in the Mid-Eastern as well.
Again, Hoggard, which is trying to make a late-season mad dash to the playoffs here, they have to beat New Hanover to get to 4 wins. Ashley has a little tougher road to go. They also have 3 wins. They'll have to beat Laney and then get a little bit of help because of the fact that they don't have any wins in the league yet.
Right.
And then who am I forgetting?
East Columbus.
Thank you very
is
much.
also sitting on 3
okay,
wins
there we
right
go.
there. They're going to have a bit of a game that they can win against South Rob, a 1-9 South Rob team. And we also have 4 area teams sitting on 4 wins with Whiteville, with Trask, and with Topsail. Those teams could use some wins to make some statements and really bolster themselves.
Trask, I think, will be okay because they're a 1A school and there's a little less of a field for them to play for. Topsail really could use another win. Brian Davis said 2 weeks ago, we could use one more. They had a shot last week. They get another crack at it this week. I think they'll still be in. Whiteville's the one. That could be interesting. That 2A East is stacked up all over the place. But 4 wins, that's a good team. If they can get in, it doesn't matter what the seed's going to be. They're going to be a tough out for somebody.
They've got a pretty tough task ahead of them. We'll get into that right now because we're going to get into your favorite part of the show and definitely my favorite. Let's get into the props.
It's not my favorite part of the show yet, just because I'm getting stomped. But Aaron's still tied for the lead in the picks. Again, let's go down the rules. 8 games every week. You can look at starnewsvarsity.com on our blog. Pick the 8 games there. Friday morning, you get to see everybody here at the Star News who we've picked, and then we take 5 of those games and play them out here on the show. Picks that we won't do here that you can see online Friday morning. That's North Brunswick at East Bladen, Trask at Pender, and Topsail at South Lenoir. That's going to be a big game too, but we're gonna hang that one out for you guys to see online. So we'll start in the Tri-County. Like we said, Wallace Rose Hill has won the conference title, but arch rival James Keenan stands in the way of a perfect season.
We talk about rivalries every week on this show. It seems like there's one somewhere throughout the area every week.
Yes.
And we say pretty much the same thing, that you throw records out the window. This one maybe not so much. Wallace Rose Hill has that perfect season on the line.
Yep.
And I'd be very surprised if they come out flat. I'd be very surprised if they come out not wanting to complete that perfect record because they've got that winning streak on the line that stretches back to last year. They've got court to hold. For that, I'm going with Wallace Rose Hill on this one, and I think they're going to win convincing.
You think so? I think there's going to be a lot of points scored in this game.
Yeah.
James Keenan has proven, even in its losses to East Bladen and Pender, that they can put points on the board. The problem is, can they stop Wallace's offense, which is on a roll right now? It's going to be very, very difficult for James Keenan at this point. Next game on the list, we'll go over to the Waccamaw. Again, another team looking for a perfect regular season. That's South Columbus, and they travel to West Brunswick.
And we talked to Coach Fonville. He said he wants that team to go undefeated.
Yes.
They had a tough test last week with Whiteville. They came out prepared, ready, and they took care of business. I don't see any reason why they're not going to do that again this week. They're finally up into that poll, something we've been looking for them to do.
Number 10. Way to go, AP voters. Good job. Yeah, South Columbus is number 10 in the state now. So
they cracked it, and I think they're going to prepare, and they're going to run the table this regular season as well. I'm going South Columbus.
Okay, so South Columbus over West Brunswick. Another game in the Waccamaw Conference. South Brunswick at Whiteville. And again, we talked about Whiteville desperately needing another win.
They're stuck on that 4 win, and that 5th win is really going to get them to where they need to be.
Yes.
For that, I think they're going to come out strong this week. I think they're going to put in the time during the week. I think they're going to come out Friday hot. That said, I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, and I think South Brunswick is going to get them. I wouldn't be surprised if this was a 1 or 2 point game. Either way, I'm going to take South Brunswick just because of the offensive weapons.
I got the Maracas, baby. I'm going with Whiteville. I think they I think they need this one more than anybody else in the area to win. And then over in the Mid-Eastern Conference, the 2 battles for Wilmington. First off, Ashley at Laney. And Ashley has a 3-game winning streak in this series, and that's a surprise.
It's huge. If the seniors win this game for Ashley, they will be able to graduate through the program without losing to Laney. Laney's sitting at 5-5 right now. They've got the home field in this one, and I think that offense for Laney and the weapons that they have are just a little too much for Ashley this year. I know Ashley needs this win, and I know they're going to be hyped and ready for it. I just don't see it happening for them. I'm going to take Laney, and this one could be a couple scores.
No, you're upside down, but there we go. That's better. Like I said, the Bucks offense has been a little upside down the last couple of weeks. Yeah. They've had some struggles with New Bern and New Hanover. I think they right the ship. I'm with you this week. I think they figure it out. And then finally, the big game here in town, New Hanover at Hoggard. The streak stands. Does it stand another year?
Man, that goes back history. I mean, there's many graduating classes have gone through New Hanover without being able to say we beat Hoggard. This year, Hoggard has really put themselves in a tough situation. They started out slow. Their offense is kind of in disarray, although they have been playing a lot better as of late. And they've put themselves into a position now to get into that playoff spot. I got to like New Hanover to end the streak here. I got to like the way that what they're going. They're 6-4. They've played a tough schedule, and I think it really shapes up well for New Hanover, not only this week, but even in the next couple weeks in the playoffs.
Here's the thing. If Bates Taylor, who was taken out of the game against Rose last week, precautionary concussion issues, if he plays, I really think New Hanover's got this one. The problem is it's a concussion thing, and nobody knows how these things go. I think it really just depends. If he plays, I think New Hanover wins. I think if he doesn't play, I think New Hanover is going to be locked in another defensive struggle, and that's right where Hoggard wants you. And then they win again.
That's Hoggard's strong point. We've seen that they can win games with their defense this year. They've done it.
So, like I said, it'll be a typical close, crazy game, and that game is at Hoggard this year, so make sure you get there early. I doubt that there will be many parking spaces.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
Let's run down the rest of the schedule. Like I said, in the Mid-Eastern, Ashley at Laney, New Hanover at Hoggard, and then New Bern and Rose play out in the northeastern corner of the conference.
Over in the Waccamaw, North Brunswick at East Bladen. That's one of the games you can see our picks on the website. South Brunswick at Whiteville, South Columbus at West Brunswick. We get over to the East Central. We got East Duplin at Croatan. We got Topsail at South Lenoir, and that's going to be a really tough game. We didn't give you our pick, but give me a little on it.
Okay, that's going to be another Topsail special. Low scoring. If the Pirates can keep the turnovers down and go on the road, they can win that game, but it will not be easy.
East Columbus at South Rob. We mentioned East Columbus really needs that one. They're sitting on 3 wins right now. They want to get into that playoffs and really make a statement. Red Springs at West Columbus. Trask at Pender in the Tri-County. That's another one of the picks you can see on the website. Pender, 7-2 on the year. They're playing some good ball. James Keenan at Wallace Rose Hill. Union at Lakewood in a very tough game. And then over in the NCISS playoffs, Forsyth Country Day at Harold's Christian.
And like I said, they start their playoffs a week earlier than everybody else, and that's only an 8-team schedule versus the bigger schedules for the public schools. So.
Right, absolutely. Well, hey, that's it for us Wednesday. You're already on the website, so keep checking it out. Check out the stats, standing schedules. It's all updated. Come back Friday night and see all the highlights we got for you. We're going to be at a couple games, especially some of the in-town ones. So come back and see some hitting, some highlights, and all the good stuff. Check it out, guys.